And welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. An Hour with Dave.
All right. Hello, everyone. Again, it's Dave Torres here, and you're on An Hour with Dave, and we're going to be talking about the systemic racism that's being claimed. But first, I want to remind everybody out here that the comments you hear on An Hour with Dave are mine and my guests when they're here, and not necessarily the opinion of Usula Media. So, you love me, you hate me, you hate me. Either way, it's okay with me. Let's sit back, let's enjoy the show, and let's talk for an hour. All right. We got that out of the way. Two things I want to give the public information on. Amtrak is taking applications for jobs, and you can actually go on the website and apply now. Amtrak is a good company to work for. Also, the Philadelphia Police were taking applications and looking into it. I'm going to try to, from this moment on, is every week when we come on, is try to give you a list of places who are hiring so we can get through this pandemic and get people back to work, because that's the only way to move forward is if we come together and start opening our cities again. Hello, Mayor. Yeah, I said open up the cities again. Yeah, Wolf, I said open up the cities again. So, again, if you love me, you love me. You hate me, you hate me. But we got to open up the city, okay? Let's get these schools open. Let's get everything done. But they are hiring. Again, Amtrak's taking applications. The Philadelphia Police are taking applications. They're both good places to get a job. And I will try to do the same every week, is to get out some information for you. All right. Today's topic we're going to talk about is this claim for systemic racism. That's a hell of a statement. I know that our country has made some tremendous mistakes in the past. We have issues in the present. Obviously, no life lost out there for whatever the reason, no matter what the color of your skin. One life lost to racism or hatred of anybody is totally unacceptable. We must come together. Now, when we talk about racism, we got to go back. If you go back, I don't know how many people play on history. I like watching a lot of the history channels and the science channels and etc. And one of the things that came up that caught my attention too was a program they had on Greeks and on Greece, and they came across 70 or 78 bodies of people who were chained together and then killed. And the story goes that they were political refugees that they got. And they killed them all because their political stance wasn't what anybody else believed, what was going on in Greece at the time. And they literally had these people, they all chained together in the same burial space that they dug out. They put them down, and then they tortured them. They killed them there. They blooded them to death. Horrible way to go. But it goes to show that the argument for racism, the argument for differences, for freedom of speech, etc., we need to take it as serious as possible. And we got to understand other people's differences. But we can't simply hate somebody because of the color of their skin. You can't hate somebody because they're short, the other one's tall, the other one's too heavy, the other one's too skinny, the other one's too dark, the other one's too light, or the way their hair's set. And you can't do that. We got to grow beyond that. And we got to start accepting that racism is going to be around as long as we accept the racism, as long as we accept people hating other people, as long as we don't speak up and say, that's enough already. Because I'm going to tell you the truth, I've seen racism. I've worked around the United States. I've traveled. I've been places. Even here in Philadelphia, racism or racist or whichever way you want to put it, man, that's everywhere. There's people, every race have people in it who hate somebody for the color of their skin. You can't say if you're white that nobody white hates somebody because they're black or they're Hispanics or they're Chinese. And if you're black, you just can't. You can't say that nobody black is racist. You can't say that nobody Puerto Rican or Hispanic is racist. Okay? I know that in my culture alone, sometimes we fight with each other. I've heard it. I don't personally do it, but I've heard it where light-skinned Hispanics are fighting because the other Hispanic is too dark. I mean, we got to get beyond that, and until we come together and realize that we all bleed, we all feel pain, we all feel rejection, we all feel hate. And my theory is pretty simple when I say, if you want to try an experiment, go to a playground. Let's section off a spot for little kids and put a bunch of 1 and 2 year olds who don't speak. If they're Chinese, put Chinese and English and blacks and Hispanics and Cubans and whatever race you want to pick. You pick a 4 or 5 races. You put them into this sandbox, and them kids will start playing with each other. They're not racist. Racism comes afterwards. You don't inherit racism like you inherit the color of your hair from your parents or baldness from your father. You don't inherit. There's no such thing as inherited racism. When you're taught to hate and you're taught negativity, you start to become racist. There's kids out there that I personally know, and I'm lecturing them, that'll say, I hate Trump. He's a white racist. They have never been around white people. They'll say Republicans are racist. All white people are racist. But you find out that none of their teachers were white. Their parents are not white. Their neighbors are not white. So how does an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old claim that white people are racist? He or she'll claim it because they're learning that from home. They're learning that from the people around them. They're learning that from people that are talking. I have a problem when you sit there and your 12-year-old hates somebody because they're white and they have no clue what they're saying. Because I'm going to tell you, God forbid your family member, your child, needs an organ and an accident happened and the family of that other child decides to donate the organs because the child's not going to make it. Does anybody ask if that lung or that heart or that kidney or that liver, is that coming from a white person? Or is it coming from a black person? Or is it coming from a Chinese person? Is it coming from a Hispanic person? Hell no. You're ready to take the organ because it's a lung or it's a kidney. All right, so if the racism was in your genes and in your parts, and what are you going to put a white heart in a black pan? A black kidney in a Hispanic man? A black kidney in a Chinese? Isn't that going to maybe that's what makes their organs get rejected? I don't know, because the mentality from where you're coming from is ridiculous. What has there been hate? Yeah. Has there been wrong things done? Yeah. Are they still being done? Yeah. I never hear a lot of people say, and I gotta tell you, I always mention this. How about Indian Nation? Indian Nation came here and they with full open arms and received the Europeans. And the Europeans came in and took everything the hell off of them. Locked them up in reservations. Killed off a lot of them. Took their lands off of them. Restricted their hunting, their livelihood, their way of life. Till today, there's still some of them in reservation camps. Till today. They're treated like third-class citizens today. Every race in this country is better off than the Indians who are the original ones here. Now, who should hate everyone more than the American Indians? No one. Who's mistreated more than the American Indians? No one. Yet, no one speaks up for them. Where's the cry for the American Indian? Where's the cry for the American nation of Indians? I want you all to think about that. They live, I wish you could just Google and spend some time and see the suffering that's going on. You could compare some of their state of living to Kensington here. They have nothing. And you complain when they don't pick up your trash the same day. You complain while you're getting free housing, and you complain while you're getting LIHEAP, and you complain when don't have enough food stamps. You complain about your stimulus check. They're hurting. They've been treated wrong by every single generation since their land was taken off of them. There's the true hatred. There's the truth about we should be not only standing up to stop it, but to say that's enough. And personally, I think Geronimo should be on a $500 bill. Bring it back. Because we have the gall to take everything off of them and put our dead presidents on. You want to make amends? Put Geronimo on the $500 bill. Put Martin Luther King on a $1,000 bill. No more presidents. No Obama being on there. Because if you're going to put Obama on there, then you might as well put Trump on there. No. You want to make it fair? Put them both on the 500 and both of their faces on the 1,000. Bring them bills back. Be fair to what's really happening in this country. What's the systemic? We're going to talk about the systemic issues that are going on here in this country. We're going to take a break in 40 minutes, 40 seconds. And then you got to give you time to go run, grab a cup of coffee or grab some water and come back. Because I know this is the topic where I say in the beginning, I said it again, you hate me, you hate me, you love me, you love me. But I'm going to tell you the damn truth. You want to make reciprocity? Stop putting dead presidents on these dollar bills. Let's bring back the $500 and the $1,000 bill. Let's put the right people on there and give them their dues, their just dues. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk again a little bit more on this topic. I'll see you back in 30 seconds.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to An Hour with Dave on Usala Media. Once again, remember, especially with this topic today and what's coming up next week and the week after that, which I'm going to let you know about, all the comments on An Hour with Dave are Dave's and Dave's only and his guests. It is not the comments of Usala Media. So you love me, you hate me, you hate me. I'm okay with it either way around, because I'm going to tell you what I got to say and tell you the truth, and I'm okay with it either way around. Okay? So we were talking about systemic racism. We were talking about the Indian nation. I'm going to try to bring in about 3 weeks some of the leaders from the Indian nation in here and put them on the mic and put them on An Hour with Dave. And I might go to the studio and see if I take an extra hour just to explain to you knuckleheads out there who are crying racism to see exactly what hatred is. You want to see the true hatred? Look at what's happening today, not yesterday. Look at what you did to the entire race of people. You complain about Hitler. What did you do to the American Indians? What are you doing to them now? And don't take away, Hitler was no cream cup. What he did to the Jews was unacceptable. What he did to France was unacceptable. Unacceptable. But they were led by one person. They were blinded. And that's where you're heading today. That's where you're at now. But hatred is dear. Let's talk about systemic problems that are going on in just Philadelphia. Schools are closing. We were already in the 30s, 40 percentiles of education with our kids when it came to the rest of the world. That's right. And the schools are still closed. Some scientist says you can't catch anything for the kids. Other teachers now don't want to go to work because they want to be vaccinated. Seniors are still dying. They're the vulnerable ones. You want to get these teachers vaccinated, fine. Stop the nonsense and open up the schools. These kids are not learning. Everyone that has the money, everyone, the teachers, they can homeschool their kids. The mayors and the governors and everybody else, their kids are not being affected. The senators, their kids are not being affected. They got tutors and they got private schools and the damn schools are open. It's our kids that are being put into the category of stupid. Our kids are being saying that's okay. They're expendable. As long as we keep our kids in private school. And you know what? Don't say white people. Because in Congress, you got every race you could think about except the American Indian. They're not allowed to be in Congress. In Senate, you got every race you could think about except the American Indians. The ones that should be. But those are the ones you're kicking in the ass along with our kids. You unions suck. You're playing political games with our kids. You're a joke. You're a joke. I'm saying it to you. David Torres is telling you, union people, you are a joke. You're taking it out on the kids. You're acting like spoiled little brats. And then we got a president who couldn't stand up to the union. He couldn't stand up to the union, this teachers' union. You really think that this super clown is going to stand up to China? They already own them. You're going to make a deal and you better make sure that his son ain't getting paid for it. He's already gotten paid by these people. Wake up. Don't be an idiot. They're treating you as stupid as they're treating your kids. You're a sucker. You really think Biden's going to do something to the Chinese? Or to Russia? or anywhere else, his son could be put on the board for $1 million? Where's the investigation? What happened? That man stood in front of public television on the stage and laughed and said, I told them if they didn't stop the investigation on my son, they're not getting the money. Taxpayers' money. And had the man fired that was doing the investigation. And you think that if he couldn't stand up to the union, he's going to do something for you? He's probably already piling the boxes in the basement of the White House because it's bigger for him to pile up the money than in his house. I just don't get you people. I don't. We need to get the school systems open across the country. We need to get some serious people in there. On both sides, Republicans and Democrats, you damn well know that we didn't have to close down these cities like this. You play games. They tell you that Chinatown, it was racist by Trump because he wanted to close the airports down. Look at us. We're walking down Chinatown. Hey, Nancy, why don't you walk down there now? Come on. Bet you ain't walking around there now. Biden, well, don't worry about him. He's probably sleeping in the basement somewhere, having a hot cocoa in his bottle. He ain't doing nothing. He's waiting for Nancy and them to tell him what paper to sign. Last time that man sat in front of paper and said, what am I signing? Where am I at? What am I doing? Man don't know what he's doing. You better watch him with the they said they're going to take the ability for him to have the football next to him. He might open it up, think he's got a Nintendo game in front of him. Let's be real. Could you see him trying to play Pac-Man on the football? Blowing up half the world? Yeah, I can see him doing that. You know? Let's be for real. Open up the schools, get jobs going. Don't take the things that they put against China away. Don't put us in the old trade market, because it ain't gonna happen. We had good things going on. This country before the pandemic, I don't care if you want to say it on a black side, white side, Hispanic side, Jewish side, any way you look at it, this country was running better when we had a businessman in there who wasn't connected to the politics. Trump was not connected to politics. He tried to run everything like a business. Was he perfect? No. But he never claimed to walk on water. Trump never said, my kids, I don't want them going to school with black and Hispanic kids. And I'm going to tell you who said that. The clown you voted in this time. Didn't want his kids to get confused where they were at. So, what am I saying? I'm telling you, we need to get our economy back up. We've lost a lot of businesses. It was too convenient for governors and mayors and council people and congressmen and senators to be sitting in their fancy restaurants and telling you to stay home and wear a mask and don't gather with your family while they sat in restaurants. Nancy Pelosi went and got her hair done. But you couldn't. You couldn't go to church. But you could go buy liquor. None of the drug corners that I seen got closed down. None of them. You know, we got people defunding police. They talk about systemic issues. My God. You're defunding the police. How many kids have been shot out here in the last 2 weeks in Philadelphia? How about Chicago? The number of people who were shot there. They weren't white people. Because the people that got shot down here, I didn't see nobody white running in the neighborhood, shooting, driving by. We're getting shot by our own people. But now you're going to pass a bill to take the guns away from the people who have them legal. Well, I got to tell you something. They asked me for ID when I bought my last gun. When you go to the street, they ain't asking you for jack shit. You don't need an ID to go buy a gun in the street. But you're going to take it away from me. I'm not robbing anybody. I'm not shooting anybody. I'm not doing home invasions. Why are you taking my gun? So that they could come into my house and steal my stuff because I can't protect myself? Is that what you're doing? Taking my liberty away? Let's make sure Dave can't protect himself, because we know what he's going to do if they come rushing in his house. I got extra large lawn bags. I don't own a lawn. You figure it out. There's systemic issues happening out here. And we got to stop lying. We got to stop lying to people. That's what we got to do. Let's get these cities open. Let's get these jobs out there. Let's make sure stuff's getting done the right way. You're spending a lot of money. You're trying to do everything you're supposed to do. People are getting tired of this nonsense. There's businesses that are closed that are not going to open up again. Or maybe they might just be a plan to open up a couple hundred more Chinese restaurants. There might be a plan to make a couple more Walmarts. Does anybody go into Walmart and look at them tags and see, does any of them tags say made in the USA? But you ran out with that stimulus check and went and bought a TV made in Taiwan, made in Japan, made in China. Damn. What's wrong with you? They're dying out here. We're losing our jobs. What are you waiting for? Another $1,400 stimulus check to do what? There's people that are really using it the right way. But I've seen a lot of people carrying out TVs out of Walmart. And I can guarantee you they weren't made here. We can all see it. Wasn't made here. I see one guy gets a stimulus check. Next thing I know, he's driving a better car than me. And he helps I have a good day at work every morning when I'm going out to do my shows or whatever I'm doing. I come home, he's still sitting there. How was your day? He never left. He's rolling a couple joints. I'm trying to figure out how to keep my radio going with the pandemic. Man's better off than me. We can't keep printing our money, people. You got to tell these people in Washington to open up the damn thing. We're going to go on one more break, and we'll be back in 30 seconds.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I know that people are getting a little aggravated with me, and then there's other people that are happy with me. So, again, what I say out here is my comments and my comments only, not those of Usula Media all my guests. Okay, let's make sure. Because like I say on my show all the time, you love me, you love me. You hate me, you hate me. Either way around, it's okay with me. I'd rather you love me, though, to be honest with you. But if you hate me, at least be honest that you hate me, okay? And we know where we stand on things. And I'm going to disappoint you because it ain't going to matter if you hate me. All right. So we know there's a systemic problem with getting jobs open up out here. Now, we also got to think about how do we get manufacturing and things back to this country? All right? And we need to. We need to make sure that we come back with a bang. We need to get all these jobs back here. I'll be damned if we get through this presidency, okay, with Sleepy Joe. If we get through this presidency and we still have China making all our antibiotics, do you really think that that pandemic that took over the entire planet was an accident? Do you really think that? I'm going to tell you one thing. There is a God up there and somebody's going to pay. There's a God. I'm a God-fearing man. I don't fear God. Let me correct that. I love God. I don't fear God. I definitely don't fear the devil because that battle has already won for me. God's a good person, good, caring, loving Father of all fathers. So I don't fear them. But there's people out there better fear him. Better fear him because if you don't know him, you better learn. And I know a lot of people don't like the fact that I say, in God we trust. Ha ha. Brother, you ain't never taken my Christianity away. I don't care how many communists come into this country. I'm going to be waving my cross and waving my flag and waving everything else. You ain't taking that away from me. I don't care how bad you think you are. I welcome you to come burn my flag or burn a cross in front of my house. It ain't happening. But let me tell you. Now let's talk about this. We need to get the manufacturing back here. On a serious note, we need to start producing our medicines here first. We need to make sure our steel is produced here second. We need to make sure that we're going to work. If we're going to work with outside countries, we need to work with people like Mexico. We need to work with people like Canada. We need to make sure that countries that we are working with are going to be there. We need to make sure that Israel is okay. Okay? Because contrary to a lot of people, Trump did a lot with Israel. Trump also did what no other president before him was able to do, was to make peace between Israel and Muslim nations. Of course, you got Iran and you got a few that hate no matter what. They hate. But Israel was better off with Trump in the office. I wouldn't be surprised if Biden decides to move the stuff that Trump put into when he moved. Remember, he moved it? The churches and all that, he moved it into to Jerusalem, right? Don't be surprised if they take and move it back out. Wouldn't doubt it. Oh, eliminate it completely. That's how hateful these people are gotten. You got people in Congress who hate Israel. How do you have people in Congress who hate Israel? Isn't that racist? How do you have people in Congress who vow to see Israel destroyed? Isn't that racist? That's racist. Hello? If I stand up to that same Muslim people and I say, I hate your people where you came from, and I think we should destroy all of them, they would say to me, which I don't feel that way, they would say to me that I'm racist. How do you have a congresswoman stand up and she gets sworn in, and then after she gets sworn in, the very first question, and if anybody wants to know, I have all the information on the tape here so you can hear her say this. The very first question is, what are you going to do when you get to Washington? Impeach that MFer was her answer. That was her answer. Tell me that woman didn't go in with racial overtones from the very beginning. Very beginning. She should have been stopped at the door right there. How is it that you have another congresswoman stand in front of a Walmart and say, if you see them, spit on them. If you see them, push them out the door. Don't let them in. Tell them they're not welcome. That's violence. You're telling people to commit violence on another person because of their political beliefs or the colors of their skin. Because Republicans are not, I got news for you, they're not only white, they're black, they're Latinos, that are Republicans. I got news for you, they're not only white. You need to stop that. Racism has all kinds of colors in them. I don't care who you are. You know what? I haven't seen racism. I'm going to correct myself. I've learned to respect Muslim nations like Cambodians. I have never run into an issue with a Cambodian. Never. Very loving, caring people. The ones I've met. I've never met one. And they're priests. Very loving people. Respectful. Down to earth. Living poor. Very incredible people. Very incredible people. I met some Haitians people who were here in my last campaign run in a church on Bustleton Avenue. Incredible pastor that's there. And very loving there too. You see, that's what I'm saying, that in every race you find people who care. And in every race you find people who are just nasty, hateful people. And if they looked in the mirror and seen how much hate they have inside of them, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how we have to do this. But okay, so we know we got to do our due diligence to try to get Congress to listen to us, because we the people are the least heard. It says we the people. It doesn't say we the suckers. It doesn't say we the idiots. It says we the people. I've been looking to see if I found the declaration that says we the suckers. And I haven't found it yet. You know? I haven't found it yet. It doesn't say where freedom of speech and there and under the we the, it says we the people. It doesn't say we the suckers. No, we the suckers is not the top of the Declaration of Independence. And it says, you have the right to bear arms. You have the right, freedom of speech. Right? Freedom of speech. It doesn't say freedom of speech if you say what we want you to say. You have the right to bear arms if you're a criminal and you buy it illegal. Because if you buy it legally, you don't have the right to keep that gun. That's what they're telling you. We have to really sit back and wonder how they claiming systemic racism. There has been hate in this country. Man, there has been. From the very onset. But the people dying in my streets are not dying by white people. I'm sorry. And haven't been for a long time. This city of Philadelphia has been running by Democrats for 50-something years. And it ain't been white, man. Come on. What I want to get to is I'm trying to get you to understand that there's hate everywhere. But we need to get ourselves back on track. When I say systemic issues, we have serious ones, man. We need to get our education together. We need to get our jobs open. We need to get cities open again. We need people to come back and invest. We need people to sell piraguas on the corner if they have to. But we got to get people back. This United States is the best country you're going to get. Do you understand that? Take some time and Google all the countries around the world. This is it, people. This is where you get to be on the radio like me and be free and talk to people. Even though I keep waiting sometimes for my boss, the producers and all to come in and say, that's it, we're going to spank you. This country is built on blood that was spilt, on people who have tried. Look at the veterans, man. They can work. You want to stop the violence in the schools? I've been saying it forever, damn it. Hire the veterans. Hire the retired police officer. If they see an armed veteran and police officer at the school system, you won't have people walking in there with guns. Yeah, it's like you go into a bank and you have bank robbers and you know that half the people in there now are allowed to carry guns because they bought them legally and they did things legally. Bank robbers may think twice about going in there to rob somebody. But hell, if a person doing a home invasion is not going to think about doing a home invasion knowing that they just came and took your guns away when you haven't done anything wrong. They take yours away. So the crime is high in a certain parts of the city, and you're going to take all the legal guns off the people in that crime area so that they can be vulnerable now to being robbed and shot and the women being raped. And are you serious? What's wrong with you people? Why are you letting them tell you what to do? It's we the people, not we the stupid ones. Schools. So we got to get the schools going. We got to get jobs open again. We got to make sure that our government understands that we do not want to be at the whim of another country to make our antibiotics. They got to be made here. Our medicines has to come back here. Our steel production has to be done here. Our mining's going to be done here. Our food's going to be grown here. Once we take care of home, then we take care of everybody else. Because we will help, because that's in our nature to help other people. But we got to take care of home first. The first issue is home. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave.
All right, this is the last segment, everybody. So I know that you got to be either pissed off at me or happy with me, either way around. But at least you get to hear what I got to say. So basically, I left it at we gotta We got to make sure the steel industry opens up here. We got to make sure that our medications are produced here. We got to make sure that we start locking in all the products. All our foods has to be produced here, or the majority of it. We got to make sure that the islands like Puerto Rico was a very independent state. Independent. Okay? Puerto Rico grew corn and coffee and rice and all kinds of things. They ain't got nothing now. President after president after president after president screwed Puerto Rico. Screwed it. We have to take responsibility for that. We the people, not we the idiots. Not we the deplorables. Not we the zombies. If the Chinese government and Wuhan Lab had the guts to do what they did this time, and I'm sorry, I do not believe it was an accident. Because if it was an accident, there would have been more people dying in China than is dying around the world. So if you want to believe that it only affected one part of China and it's over, but the rest of the world is going through changes, you deserve to be one of we the idiots. You deserve it. And if they did it that way, they come into the country and little by little they're taking over Hollywood. They got the media in their pockets. They got all the big sports people in their pockets. They control a lot of the investments. Now in certain countries they own the minerals. You think they're going to take over without firing a shot? They're going to take over countries without firing one bullet. Because you're going to be waiting for them to hand you your stimulus check while they took over everything. Yeah, we the idiot. Don't go to school, drop out. Break the nuclear family up. No, you're not allowed to pray. You can't go to church, but go get drunk. You can't go to church. Well, go ahead, smoke a couple joints. LA wants to make acid legal. Acid. All right, don't worry about it. You don't need nothing. China's coming. They're going to take care of everything for you. That's what you got. And I'm telling you, the people that have left communist China, if you listen to them, they can tell you, ain't nothing happening. Either you got it, or you don't, you don't. That's where it boils down to. You got it, you don't, you don't. We need to stop. Everything in Washington needs to stop. We need to get petitions going. And I'm going to start introducing a couple petitions as of next week. And the petitions are going to say you no longer have the authority to pass a bill for $1.9 trillion. $1.4 trillion. No, that's enough. You're not doing it. And when the next stimulus bill goes on, it has to be for the people here. And it better not go to a damn museum that's been closed since the pandemic started. And it's not going to go to governors so they can build their railroads. And it's not going to go to governors who's mishandled their city's budget for the last 5 years. It needs to go to the small business people. It needs to go to make sure that the business open up and people have their jobs. Making sure that unemployment was okay. That's what needs to happen. Making sure the seniors get their medications. We need to get a petition going in this country that will flag them and say you are no longer allowed to make these kind of checks unless you're approved by, we the people. Because it's a game. They in Washington lost nothing. Nothing. Never lost a check. Their staff never lost a check. Their benefits never stopped. Their kids went to school, are going to school. Yours are not. A mother who had 3 kids trying to hold a job, trying to make a living, now became a teacher and couldn't do it. They knew what they were doing, and they know what they're doing. You got stuff in the next bill that they just signed, a stimulus bill, and we're going to have this in the next 2 weeks that are coming up. These 2 weeks coming up, at least one of the weeks, we're going to be talking about the stimulus bill. And we're going to break down to you what it is that's in there. And I need you to reach out to everybody you know and say, on Monday, stop whatever you're doing. Go to YouTube and then go to Usula Media and click on An Hour with Dave at 2 o'clock because he's going to tell us what's on that stimulus bill. And I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, white, black, Chinese, female, male, or whatever you identify yourself as. I'm putting it out there for everybody to see because all them clowns up there are playing with us. And I'm going to tell you, just like your city halls are doing it, just like your mayors and governors, you're getting screwed. And they're loving it because none of them lost a check. You want United Healthcare? We all want United Healthcare. But guess what? You tell Congress that when we get United Healthcare, they have to take the same plan or buy their own. And I bet you're going to get the best plan there is. Because you're no longer going to have to worry about deductibles or nothing. Because they ain't going to want to pay for it. And you do that to everybody. And we start telling them this ain't happening. You're not going to do this bullshit anymore. We've had enough. You don't like our allies. You don't like our rules. Go somewhere else. Simple. We ain't holding anybody in this country, are we? I don't think so. You know, and we got these families, these kids that came over, and all this joking and all this political stuff going back and forth. Them kids are hurting. They came without parents. You better be hoping and praying to God that they weren't raped, they weren't abused, that some of them that have disappeared are no longer now being sex trafficked. You better hope that they're not being slaves. You better hope that none of them be cutting open and they're putting out their organs on the black market. Why? Because we got government here that's making it where don't come now. What kind of a stupid thing to say, don't come right now. Give us a little bit of time. All the criticism about Obama and where he had the kids and Trump where he had the kids, and we're doing the same damn thing now to these kids. And you're spreading them out. We're in trouble here. We got unemployment. We got to take care of home. Once we take care of home and everybody here and bring back the jobs and bring back manufacturing and take care of our medicine so this doesn't happen to us again. control where we're spending our money on, then we can reach out to help others. But you can't reach out to help others when you're dying. It doesn't work. If you're bleeding, you need to stop the bleeding on you first before you can help somebody. You have to. We got a serious, yes, systemic problem. The systemic problem is that you're sleeping, America. That's the systemic problem. Look at yourself in the mirror and smack yourself. Wake yourself up. You pastors, you church leaders, you community leaders. Pastors, I got news for you. I went to the Bible again. It doesn't say lock your damn church doors. It says open them up, go out to the people. Why are you locking the doors while they're dealing drugs across the street? Put your chairs and your speakers out and have a service every night. Stop it already. Man, it's unbelievable what's happening out here. And you guys know who's dealing drugs in your corners, man. Come on. I want to end this, because I could keep going on, but I'm going to end this with saying, I'm going to make an invitation to people. Instead of saying racism, let's take the sism out of it, racists, and take ist out of it, and let's go with human race. Why don't we all join the human race? How about that? No racism, human race, because we're all one. Okay? God bless you. See you next Tuesday. I love you. And if I hurt anybody's feelings, well, you'll get over it. God bless.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave.